Racing for me was kind of unique because my family was never really into it at all. I kind of found the passion on my own. Ayrton Senna is one of like my role models, so that kind of got me started in the whole racing aspect. I was always in the cars, following his career and kind of his life story got me into it, and then it just kind of opened up all of racing for me. I started with Formula One, and then everything kind of took off from there.
I've grown up around racing since I was a little kid. I'm actually from northwestern Pennsylvania, where dirt track racing is pretty big. I always went to the dirt track to watch sprint cars with my dad and grandpa. And then I started racing dirt track go-karts when I was about 8, and I did that until I graduated high school. So I came to college and saw this club and decided it was what I wanted to do in my free time. So I've been around racing pretty much my whole life.
It's mostly just been a thing I've sort of picked up from my friends over the years. It's just like a bunch of my friends all had, different little vehicles or just whatever that we'd go mess around on. My friend had like a 3-wheeler that, would go ride around out in my field, or, my other friend had a go-kart, we'd go like drive around. So I always thought it was super fun. And then coming to here to engineering school, combining it with my engineering experience has been super fun and super interesting.
Well, my experience with how I joined the SAE team is I was in my fluids class one day in my junior year, and I was talking to some guys, and he just happened to be the team captain at the time, Felipe, and he recommended that I come join the team, and I showed up for the first meeting and then kept showing up after that.
When I was first applying to WSU, I was always really into cars and racing, and I just took a shot in the dark and I just put in WSU racing. And then this team came up, so Formula SAE came up, and I was like, oh, this is awesome. This is something I can be interested in and kind of keep me interested in school while I'm here. So when I joined the team, they had a PR position open, so our public relations, and then I started in that position, and then that's kind of how I took off inside of the team.
I think my greatest accomplishment so far has really just been completing a chassis start to finish, taking it from early design stages, figuring out what needs to change, making those changes, and then turning that into a physical part here on the floor.
Our goal this year is to place in the top 30 of about just under 200 teams at our big competition. So that's a pretty big deal for any of the teams. Top 30 is really a good place to be.
So a part of us not going to competition there this year was that our money gap was so close. We decided to just not go. Of course, the manufacturing was a part of it too, but to be able to give us that extra time and hopefully some more funding, we can bring more people to competition, go do some more things. Because of course, we try to take this car to as many events as we can, and try to get outside of the state as much as we can. A little amount of money we have for travel, it kind of hurts us to be able to get the team out there and show people what we do. We try to obviously take the car to things, get our names out there, try to get people to support us all we can. Of course, we know things aren't just going to happen immediately, but getting that kind of connection started and trying to talk about it is a big thing too.
I feel like you go beyond what you're taught in the classroom while you're on this team, getting actual hands-on experience, being able to physically see things and touch things with like what all the equations you learn in classes actually do in real life. So I think it's pretty much everything you learn in classes plus more.
One of my favorite things on the team is it's helping me develop my management skills quite a bit, and it's gone beyond the classroom to teach me how to be a leader and how to manage my fellow engineers, which can be quite challenging at times because we all have our own ideas, and it takes a lot of coordination to make sure everyone stays on track and stays working in the right direction.
Pretty much everything that I learn in class actually applies to this club. From looking at our structural design to how much force a certain beam can take to how much it deflects under load to just material science. Like pretty much everything applies, and that all sort of comes straight from my classes.
Normally people think about racing as more of like a technical, like engineering standpoint, but when you start to think about Formula One and things like that, you learn that business is pretty much half of it or more. So being a business major, that's kind of how I plan on starting my career inside racing if I choose to go that way. It's really interesting to me how people from different majors can come into the team and everybody has to collaborate, work together. So it's cool to see all those parts from across campus students that never get to interact with each other come together and work on a project.